Bonjour! Bonjour!
No.
Time for bladder check. Check.
So it's a show?
It's a lifestyle.
It's a religion.
My emotions! My emotions!
I'm still French.
Ouais, c'est pas faux.
I'm a woman, Mary. I can be as contrary as I choose.
Non, moi je crois qu'il faut que vous arrêtiez d'essayer de dire des trucs.
Hello, hi, I'm Laura. I'm gonna watch The Wire Season 5, the final season, episode 2. I just watched the episode 1. If you want to see my reaction video about it, I'm gonna put the link into the I need to make a short intro, and you know that for me it's really rough. I need to make a short intro to try to have enough lights, you know, to finish this video, you know, the review after this episode with lights, you know, and not into the dark and with really awful lights, you know, my yellow lights and stuff like that. So, wish me luck with that. Still, during this intro, I want to talk about the first episode that we watched together just some minutes ago, because I think that this was a pretty good episode to really set up things for this season, for this final season. Again, I don't know, and tell me that if you know about it, if the writers knew writing this season that it would be the final season. And it's making a huge difference, you know, when writers that are writing a season knowing that it's gonna be the last season, meaning that they have the time to think about how to close every stories, you know, every main narrative arcs, and also the developments of the characters, how they can do it and all. Clearly, it's making a huge difference, and we have, I think, not only me, but also you have plenty of examples of shows who didn't know about it, and because of that, we're finishing the season being like, we have no closures, like for the stories, but also for the characters, and the fans, you know, that are letting the fans like that without any closure, and that's it, like, we're never gonna have anything else. Like I said also, with a show like that, I don't think that, in fact, they're gonna close all of the stories, because a big thing about this show is to show that each time, you know, that they are closing a drug business, another one is opened, you know, it's never finishing, and arresting one guy, it's not gonna close at all, you know, all of the drug business out there. And that's what they said also during the first scenes of the first episode of this season. We had Bunk, we had Kima and Sydney, I think, repeating same shit, you know, we are doing the same shit every day. And yes, in fact, it's like that, and it's gonna continue to be like that, and after this season 5 it's gonna continue to be like that. I think that we can have, in fact, an entire, maybe not narrative arc, but an entire subject explored about the fact that it's never gonna end. They're always gonna continue to chase drug dealers, and then they're always gonna continue to replace themselves like that. It's like that. No matter what, that was a good first episode to set up the mood, to set up also the context. The major crime unit was destroyed, you know, divided. We have Kima and McNulty back at the homicide, you know, division unit. And McNulty is back at being drunk, being unfaithful. It's making me mad at him, because before, you know, he changed, and in fact now I realize that he didn't change because he wanted to, he changed because he was not tempted anymore, and that's a big difference. And I think that the writers made a parallel with his situation and Bubbs' situation. Bubbs changed because he wants to, and is tempted, and is not responding, you know, to these temptations, is not going with it. Even if his situation right now is not so great, it's not an excuse to go back to drugs. He's still clean, he has a legal job. Okay, it's not the perfect one. On the contrary, you know, like, he's walking outside, maybe it's cold, he's not really respected, and at home he's not that much respected also. Like, he can't go really with his sister, and he's forced to live, you know, into the basement and to live during the day. Like, it's clearly not a perfect life, but he's still clean and he's doing his best. I'm proud of him, I'm so proud of him. When McNulty Okay, situation right now at work is not so great because during one entire year they didn't make any progress with this investigation, and maybe because of that it made him sad. Maybe he was tempted, you know, with his old friends to be drunk again and all. But at home he had still a good life, you know, and he could have resisted to the temptation for them, for that, and also for himself, you know, for the fact that he was doing great, but no, he didn't do it. That's why I'm a little mad at McNulty. We have also all of the context of Tommy who is not keeping his promises. That's not a surprise for me at all, but that's really bad for all of these cops who are not getting paid. I'm wondering if we're gonna have a strike at some point. Like, for me in US, you are never going on strikes. Like, we have news in France about you when you are going on strikes, you know, because it's so, you know, so rare and stuff like that, that when one of your companies, like when 10 employees into one of your companies are going on strike, whoa, that's a big thing, that's such a big thing that we're even talking about it like, oh, see, they can do it. And it's not even a joke. I remember that once, you know, I think that it was into one of Amazon companies, you know, buildings, 20 employees, you know, something like that, went on strike, and suddenly, like, everyone was talking about it for sure in US, but also in France, like, they're doing it, they're truly doing it at some point. When for us, you know, it's so usual, like, oh, right now it has been a long time that we didn't have big strikes in France, but I'm saying that, and in fact it was just a few months ago, when for you, like, maybe it's like a few years ago. Do you understand what I mean? But all of that to say that cops are not getting paid right now. Marlowe is continuing his business with Michael working for him. Duquan maybe is not gonna work for them anymore. I would appreciate it, but I have the impression that Duquan is not okay about it. We will see. And Marlowe is making, you know, some investigations on the Greeks. We saw that with Chris searching for information on Sergei right now, so I'm wondering what he wants to do with it. I think that he wants to take the place of Proposition Joe, or at least, you know, to have him out of the co-op. Like, Marlowe, what you're doing right now, for sure, he has something on mind. We'll see. And now that he's not gonna have the cops anymore on his back, that's gonna be easier for him, in fact. We didn't have any news about Randy, we didn't have any news about Ney, that was not a surprise for me. We didn't see Omar, that I hope that it's not gonna stay like that. I want news about Omar, please. We'll see. And during this season, we might have an entire narrative arc about the newsroom, about people working for that newspaper. They put that also into the opening credit, that we would talk about the newspapers, about the televisions, about the media and stuff like that. Like I said, I'm a former journalist, you know, I was a journalist during several years for a newspaper, so I know how it can function and all, so that's why during the first episode I talked about it, you know, during some moments into that newsroom. I was like, yes, it's working like that, you're a good journalist, you're a bad journalist and all, because I know about it, I know how it's functioning. So if it's continuing like that, you know, for the entire season, I'm going to continue to talk about it, you know, to talk about that job, to talk about the values of that job, how to make it right and all, and how some journalists are not making it right because they are lazy, because they are old dinosaurs, you know, and they don't know how to evolve. They don't know how to search for any information, and they are just waiting for the information, you know, to fall into their hands. It's happening a lot into some newsrooms, and clearly I was not one of these journalists, and yes, it can make me mad also to see that. We'll see how it's gonna be for this season, and I'm gonna see that right now. Let's go for this episode. Remember that if you want, on my Patreon, you can have 4 episodes of advance for The Wire. It's really a lot, meaning that on my Patreon they already have my reaction video about the episode 6, and you have them with an extended reaction part, meaning at least a 10 minutes longer, you know, reaction part, and meaning also that you just have to subscribe to the level 2 on my Patreon, so only €5 for the entire month to have access to all of the videos that I'm gonna post during this month, and also all of the videos that I posted before that. If you're discovering my channel, you know the fact that I'm binge watching The Wire with this video, you can have access to my entire binge watching, you know, you can really make yourself an entire binge watching of my binge watching of The Wire by subscribing to my Patreon right now. It's the best way to support me, to thank me, you know, for reacting to The Wire during this entire seasons and all of that, to support me, just to encourage me to continue this channel, these videos and all of that. If you want and if you can. Let's go for this episode!
Anybody else feel like sharing? How about you, Bubbs? Hadn't heard from you in a while.
Been clean 15 months Thursday.
I'm so proud!
It's to get so high, you know? It's to love to be high. But y'all see me out there on Mambo and Fade doing the dope feed lean, right? Be like this here. Come to realize people treat me like a lamppost. They hang flies on me and shit. I just love to get high.
Not anymore.
Got to the point. You know, I'm not in the right place to talk about this right now.
Thanks, Bubbs. Thanks for sharing.
It's rough, but you're doing so great.
Desire to share. When you walk through the garden.
Yeah, I think over the east side. They Snoops be rolling around all week. No cars, no vans, no helicopters. No,
They don't care about you anymore.
She had no work in a few months. She's somewhat eager.
God damn, right?
Yeah.
Too much fucking talking around here lately, man. Niggas need to shut the fuck up.
You're angry at killing people, you know, she wants to kill some people.
We stepped the June boat for talking that shit. He was a dead man, we opened his mouth, we just walking around unknowingly. And I want that dick sucker. Took my money, the whole world know. He got the fall.
Oma?
Don't retirement and shit.
Yes!
When his ass back out of the town.
I want for him to come back in the show, but not for you to kill him.
But he's gonna be coming at us and we coming at him. I mean, Joe and them, they still at that beat. What if that thing down at Jesse? Yeah, you on the list. Go down there anytime you want, no problem.
You're gonna ask Sergey, you know, some information about the Greeks?
Earn your pay, niggas.
Funny how you started out.
What do you mean?
Dope feeding, laying and all. You know, you hear a lot of funny shit in these rooms. You know, people making fun of mistakes, making people laugh. But in between all the jokes, there's a lot of truth to be spoken. You might actually stand up and talk about Sherrod. A searching and fearless moral inventory, that's the step.
Don't tell me about that.
You gotta let it out to let it go. I'm your sponsor and I'm telling you, you gotta get out of your head, outside yourself.
I know this to be.
Talk about where you go after the meetings. Talking about what you do, what you think, what you feel.
I feel nothing.
That was never your problem.
You're the most sensitive guy of this show. I can't believe so. No repairs on the cars. Yeah.
Now I've seen everything.
He took the bus.
What a joke.
67-year-old.
I hope that they're paying for your gas at least.
Grandmother's to many, lived alone.
Call for crime lab? On the list. Today's list?
Fucking crime lab too, huh? Got everything.
She suffocated, you know, someone.
Yeah, it's probably natural. Just didn't like the way she looked laying there with the pillow and all.
The pillow is weird.
Sleep.
Those mornings with a hangover, I hold the pillow over my face. Just to keep the light out and the pain down.
And me, I just throw up once or twice and go to work.
Just staying around for fun, Lester? You know, maybe you're gonna see something one day, by chance.
We want to depict the Dickensian lives of city children and then show clearly and concisely where the school system has failed them.
They're marginalized long before they walk into class.
You want to look at who these kids really are, you gotta look at the parenting or lack of it in the city. Drug culture, the economics of these neighborhoods.
You don't need a lot of context to examine what goes on in one classroom.
Oh, really? I think you need a lot of context to seriously examine anything.
Yes!
I think Scott is on the right track.
Because it's taking a shortcut.
My wife volunteers in a city school. But what I want to look at is the tangible, where the problem and solution can be measured clearly.
It's not that easy. It's never that easy.
I don't want some amorphous series detailing society's ills. If you leave everything in, soon you've got nothing. I think the schools are ripe for exploration, and I think Scott might be the man to lead the charge.
Wood, you jumping the numbers from the port story yet?
Oh shit, I forgot. Overall cargo is down by 12 points, but roll-on roll-off gained 6.4% last year.
Alright, dropped 12, Burrow's up 6.4.
Who's the lead for opening day tomorrow? Not the game story, but the Pelicans.
Luxembourg wanted to go with McGuire.
I think Scott would do an excellent job in the Pelicans. You know, I'd really like to find some chaw chewing old timer who died rather than miss Eo's over. No one who stands baseball, you know. Scott, put your special touch on it, like you did with the great.
A color piece, you know, it's a mood paper, like giving some colors to an info. That's a meeting. Marlo, Chris and Snoop.
Is the night man still on the copy desk? Yeah, I think I just want to check on the port story.
No?
I transposed the numbers.
You were haunted by that?
12-point decrease and a 6.4 bump in a row. I woke up in a sweat because I thought I fucked that up. You sure?
Tonight you had the usual deadline nightmare to no actual purpose.
We all had that at some point. I mean, all good journalists, you know.
How long to my old lady? It's gonna be a while. Got my hands full.
Clearly.
Across the street for breakfast.
Hey, Jimmy.
Nancy has tricks.
Heard you were working murders again.
How's life in the county?
Worse every year.
I'm so out about it.
Oh, new Cutter's dug her heels in. Says it's a murder. It's not, but I can see why she thinks strangulation. If we weren't there to see it, I wouldn't believe it myself. It's all post-mortem. They can't pry the guy out without grabbing hold of his neck for leverage. We watched him do it. This Dundalk medic and the morgue guy just grabs his neck and start yanking.
You saw it?
They can't tell it's post-mortem.
On a fresh body, no one can. Grab a guy too hard, and then got fatigue, break a hyoid, even leave bruising.
What do you want to Sergei? For me, he wants information about the Greeks. A direct link, you know, connection with them, maybe? Oh no, you're not visiting Sergei! Why? Why? Oh, I didn't expect to see him again.
Whatever business you trying to do through Russian, you gotta go through me first. Yeah? Yeah. Cause up in this bitch, here, I'm what you might consider an authority figure. Sergey stepped to me the other day saying this nigga Marlo, who you don't even know, just be sending him cash money to get on his visiting list. You trying to get to the Russian so you can get a line to his people. You trying to
yes, a direct connection.
You want to cut Proposition Joe and all them other East Side bitches.
Yes, that's what I said.
West Side definitely need to stick together, you know what I mean? That's
Okay.
just the way I feel about it.
So you're on his side.
Nothing but love in my heart for West Side niggas. Nothing but love. I gotta have my taste too. Figure that. So send my sister 100 large.
And the next time you come to Jesse, it won't be my real talking at you. My word on that.
$100, huh?
Brianna, she needs some money.
Long time Oaks fan? I could care less about opening day at this point. Once you look at Barry Bonds, he ruined baseball for me.
How are you a big Oaks fan? Actually, I grew up with the Cubs. My son, he kind of likes them, so,
And then on steroids?
You're not taking notes anymore? That's a bad journalist, you know? A color paper, it's not writing about what you want the mood to be. No, you're writing about what the mood is truly